everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. It's been a long while since I've done a crafty video here on YouTube, and I wanted to give you a quick update on my dad, who's doing really well, recovering from his 2 heart surgeries. And we had a follow-up, and they said the site is healing really well. And I've been so far away from my craft room that I just started to get back into Copic coloring. So I thought I'd share with you guys these 2 pups that I colored up. First of all, this set of doggy stamps is so cute. It's a Ranger Dilution stamp set called Puppy Dog Tails. And I got this at Only One Life Creations. They were having an amazing price. It was under $3. And I will say it's not photopolymer, it's acrylic, I think, stamps. And so it took several stampings to get a really clean, crisp image, especially because there are so many areas that have solid black, like the polka dots and the stripes and whatnot. So I will say you really need a stamp positioner tool to help get a clean, crisp image. And I just decided to color up this little dog that I think is supposed to be like a kind of steampunky poodle in honor of my little biscuit who passed away last year. And I decided to color up this cutie with some kind of steampunk colors. So I'm using some blue greens and some kind of warm caramel colors. And I've decided to color up the boots also with the same blue, green, gray kind of color. And you can see I'm using 3 different shades of each kind of color family to get a good depth. Using the lightest color for the highlight areas, then the medium tone, and then the darkest tone. And I'm just trying to figure out where the light source would be, and I figured it's kind of at the top of the dog and to the right of the dog. So that's why those areas are the lightest color, and then I color in with the medium tone and the darkest tone and kind of blend all 3 areas together with the lightest tone at the very end there. And I realized I did the little sweater, but I hadn't done the what I think represents the fluffy part of the poodle at the top of the head and at the top of the tail with the same polka dots and check areas. So I'm just doing the same colors repeated there that I did in the sweater with the caramel colors using Y35, E97, and E99. I thought that would give a nice highlighted area as well as some rich caramel colors. Then for the dog, I was trying to figure out what I would do, and I thought I would just use a kind of a pale tan. And you can see I'm putting the base color here. I think this is an E31. It's kind of off camera at the base there. Yeah, E31 and an E33 for the shadowed areas. I probably could have used another mid-tone in there, which I don't have. I don't even know if the Copic colors come in another color between 31 and 33 there. But I could have used tip-to-tip coloring, but I just decided I was going to lay in the mid-tone there and then blend with multiple layers of the lighter tone to try to get kind of that clean blended look. I will say that because my markers are a little bit out of use, I think I need to change out the tips of a couple of those markers because they've gotten a little bit kind of a waxy feel to them. Next, I decided to color up this bulldog, and I thought I would just lay in first where I thought the shading would be, and I'm using a light warm gray. I think that was a W0, and then I'm trying to lay in a darker area with a W3. And I'm just trying to figure out kind of those nooks and crannies of the bulldog where I think there would be shadows. Behind kind of the wrinkles of its muzzle, at the base of where the muzzle meets the forehead, where the arms or front legs meet the base, the lower part of the belly. All those areas are going to get darker, warmer gray, and then blend it out with a W1 to connect with the W0. There are some areas that I'm leaving white at this point. And I think at this point I decided I'm going to use the blue tones, kind of an aqua blue, with the lightest color being the base, then a a B02 and a B04 to get some more shading and dimension. And it's the bottom of the feet where the feet meet the top fur area of the shoes. And I'm going back in there because the blue I had colored outside the lines of the bow tie, so I'm pushing that back in with a W0 there. And I decide I'm going to darken up the areas with a W3 for those really deep dark nooks and crannies. And then I'm trying to decide for the eyes if they're going to go blue or if they're going to go this violet. And so while I'm thinking about that, I decide that the little fur tops of his boots could be in that violet color. And then I thought, okay, the eyes, the outside rings could be done in violet, and the inside button eyes could be done in the blues. And I wanted some contrast with the violet in the base of the little fur-lined boots, as well as on the outside rings around the eyes. And all of that is to give more depth of color. Then I thought the belly could be purple too. So I'm laying in the lightest color, the mid-tone, and that's the darkest. And then I'm going back in and blending with the mid-tone and then finishing off with the lightest tone there. That's kind of the largest area of the bulldog that you can see colored up with that violet. And I think repeating that a few times throughout the dog. So the cuffs, the belly, the around the eyes, and then under the bottom part of the muzzle, kind of where the chin is. And I thought I would repeat that one more time. I mean, obviously this is not a realistic dog. I'm using, again, another kind of steampunk color combination with the blues and the violet. And now I'm using my 0 blender marker to push back in where I've colored outside the lines, the areas where I wanted it to be a little cleaner looking, more pale or white. And then I realized I'd like to color the ears blue, so I'm laying in that base color of the B00, then laying in the mid-tone B02, and then the darkest in the under part of the ear flaps and at the base, the tips of the ears, and I'm blending that back out so that the blue gets repeated 3 times as well. Well, 4 times, I guess, if you count the eyes. And here I'm just cleaning up again the whiter areas with that blender pen, pushing back where I've colored outside the lines. I mean, that's the great thing about Copic markers. You really can, layer color after layer. And there are really no mistakes when you're coloring up a fictitious kind of dog. And I decided the warm gray was not colorful enough, so I decided to use a B91 to color in the rest of the dog where it was just gray, other than the muzzle being like a pale gray. And that's the finished bulldog. I hope you've enjoyed this coloring process video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.